bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-da-ba-ba-dum. Hello, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. It's great to see you. A hearty hello and a hi ho silver. If you're my age, you might remember that program of Zorro. So glad you're here, my friends. It's always good to see you. My name is Joette Calabrese, and we do this every Monday night. We meet at 8 o'clock Eastern Time every single Monday night, rain or shine. And we do one thing and one thing only, and that is we talk about homeopathy. I teach you what I know. I share with you some ideas. I hope that others will help you along the way. You might want to join in with one of the gateway groups that are represented by many of my students. And so that is our goal. So for those of you who are new, that's what we do. For those of you who are my old friends, welcome, friends. It's great to see you all. I'm very grateful for your time that you spend with me. I'm looking at a couple people. Janice from Toronto. We got a couple people from Harry. Z for Zorro, Harry. It's because we're the same age, Harry. We we know. Oh, hi ho, Silver. And then we've got let's see, Marge is from Ontario. Well, great to see Ontario represented. Canada, it's wonderful. Hi, Joette and Mighty, says Barbara. Hi from Santiago, Rhode Island. Really, Rhode Island? Santiago, Rhode Island. That's an interesting name for a town in Rhode Island. Hello from Ohio. That's where I am today. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Columbus, Ohio today. Hi from Nebraska, from Wisconsin, San Diego, yay, 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 Michigan, Arizona, Minnesota, California, Wisconsin, New Zealand. It's beautiful to see. I love seeing you all, friends. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a subject that I talk about, it feels like way too frequently, but I have to say that the reason I do this is because this is a very important subject, not just because people have anxiety. Yes, it's not the only reason, but because they are prescribed a drug, and that is more dangerous than people may realize. So I just have to say that modern medicine has been built on this, I don't know, on this fault line of synthetics, petroleum products, and the ownership. You want me to move over a little bit?
Yep,
This way?
I think so.
Okay, we'll see. Um, and I believe we've been fed kind of a curated story, a story that only certain people have the information regarding. Okay, this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we've been fed a line of baloney, and there are some advantages. No, that doesn't work. It must be this way. Well, I don't know. I think you're just going to have to see half a face. Okay. I think we've been fed a line of baloney. I hate to say it. And that doesn't mean that all of medicine falls into that category, friends. What it means is that there are too many problems with the prescriptions that, yeah, I don't know. You think it's this way?
I do.
You're pretty sure of that?
Pretty sure,
Okay,
just
we're
a
going to
little
try
bit.
again. Okay. Okay. And we've been told that there's only one kind of person that knows how to treat you, and that's a medical doctor. And medical doctors have great diagnostic abilities. They have great surgical abilities. They are can be really very wonderful on many levels. But the one problem that they have been fed the same baloney we have, and that is that for most conditions, chronic, I'm talking mostly about chronic conditions, that the answer is in drugs, from headaches, everything from headaches, even to birthing, that's not even chronic, uh, to sadness and anxiety. And it's the same for big food. Look, I'm speaking to the choir, aren't I? Because that's one of the problems that we all have experienced. We've all have known, and we've known about it even more so. More people have come on board since 2020. But I want to tell you, friends, you don't have to figure this out alone. You don't have to second guess yourself. You don't have to wonder if you're doing it right, because you're in the right place. Here every Monday, but also on my blogs, podcasts, articles. They're all free for the taking, friends, and I want you to take advantage of them. And then should you be interested, I have courses, online courses, and of course my academy. But take advantage of the free content I put out there, and there is a lot. 12, 13 years of putting this information out with very specific information. So I guess the reason I take up this subject time and again regarding anxiety is because I'm seeing so many, especially young people, who don't realize that it's perfectly normal to have anxiety sometimes. Perhaps it's not so normal, but it is within the range of human suffering, and we learn from suffering. Not that I want anyone to suffer. We want to try to relieve suffering as much as possible, but suffering brings us to a different level of maturity in life. And so a little suffering and then trying to figure out, or seeing a homeopath who can figure out what the answer is. Now, let me also say, and I don't talk an awful lot about food and what we should be eating, but I think that contributes greatly to the anxiety that many young women experience, and men too, young men too. All ages, doesn't matter, young, old, doesn't matter. But I just see it so often in young women. And so I just want to say that drugs were designed. They're synthetic. Remember, our food is designed, cereals are designed, corn chips, etc. They're all designed for us to want to eat them. They have aspects of them, chemicals, etc., that encourage us to eat not only one, but you can't stop eating them. But they're designed to interfere with our normal human biology. They're actually toxins. Drugs are toxins, and it doesn't mean we don't use toxins. There are or drugs when we need them. Listen, my friends, actually, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I just had number 19, a tooth extracted this afternoon, and it hurts a little. I'm using my remedies. I had a local anesthetic. Yes, not general. I had a local anesthetic, and the tooth was extracted. But drugs are toxins that are actually exploited for their side effects. The side effect is that there's numbing. I wanted it. Thank you very much. That when they're exploited for side effects, that means they interfere with the normal pathways. And so I'm not going to give you anything that I haven't already talked about. I just want to emphasize it. I want you to seek out and try to help these young people, especially young people. Why do I say young? Because it can be any age, but particularly young people, because they don't realize that it is not normal to take psychotropic drugs. It's not normal. It's not good biology. We don't want to bludgeon the body and into submission with drugs. It is very important that they learn this. See, those of you who are near my age, or my age and older, may not, I mean, I certainly remember that I didn't know anybody who was on an anti-anxiety drug when I was in high school or college. Did you know anyone? I didn't. Valium had just come out in the 60s. That's when I was in high school. It just wasn't around. And it certainly wasn't for young girls. And it certainly wasn't for young women. And then women, now in order to get pregnant, they must get off of these drugs. So I was thinking the other day, you know how when you were a kid and you poured milk in your cereal bowl and you had your cereal in there? No, please, I hope you're not eating cereal, friends, because that could be contributing to the sadness and this anxiety that people have. And then something caught your attention and you left the kitchen for a while, and when you came back, maybe 15 minutes later, it was all soggy and it was all bloated. Your bowl of cereal was like mush now. It didn't have that crispness anymore. Well, that's what happens when we let a bad idea sit too long. It was already a bad idea. Cereal with skim milk, already a bad idea. Now, if we let it sit too long, now it's soggy and bloated and beyond recognition. The cereal is no longer crispy. The milk is all mucky. It's a perfect metaphor for a lot of things. But I think of it as it was a bad idea to start with, and now we're making it worse. So let's talk. Now, before I went to the dentist today, I, you know, who wants to go to the dentist? I certainly don't like the dentist, like going to the dentist. And so I took gelsemium, and I've talked about this before, mostly because I was fatigued, and I mean beyond, I shouldn't have been fatigued, but I was feeling kind of tired, and I was a little anxious, not terribly anxious. Other times I've been much, much more anxious, but not this time. Why not this time? Because I really have had a problem with this tooth. I'm certain that I fractured it. My dentist tells me that the reason I fractured it is because I grind my teeth. He's convinced, and I trust him. I agree with him. I mean, I believe him. And it's probably also because I nursed 3 children extensively and didn't take my calc floor, which I should have taken all during those pregnancies. I knew enough to do it for the third one, certainly. But at any rate, I fractured the tooth, then it got infected, and it might have, had I gone to a conventional dentist, someone I didn't trust so much, it might have been recommended, or would have been recommended, that I get a root canal. But I said no, out, damn spot, out. Here's someone. Alice says, I was in high school in the late '60s and was put on um, stelazine for panic attacks. Wish I had known about aconitum then. Yes. So I didn't have a panic attack. I'm going to tell you this because I'm using my example. I didn't have a panic attack. I felt fatigued and a little anxious, but not horrible. So I went in, and I was really fine. Now I had aconite with me because should I have gone into a panic attack? I have not gone into a panic attack in a very, very long time. Why? Because a long time ago I used two remedies, not at the same time. One as one was needed, and another one that when that was needed. And the first one was arsenicum album. It did me such good. Arsenicum album was amazing. And I always used it in a 200. And I remember I was so anxious. This was before I knew anything about homeopathy, really. I mean, I was just learning it. I was so anxious I was afraid to take the remedy. Why? Because arsenicum album is a remedy that has fear of being poisoned, and I was afraid I was going to be made worse. Now, where would I get an idea like that? Because some homeopaths teach that you should have an aggravation. You want to get worse before you get better. And I say, oh, nay, nay. You should not get worse. If somebody's having a panic attack or any kind of anxiety, I would expect that they would take either arsenicum or aconitum. Now, there are others too. But I would expect that they would see a response in short order. What's short order? 10 minutes? Sometimes it's even within a few minutes. 10 minutes? 20 minutes maybe? And it all comes down. And the first time I experienced that with arsenicum album, all I could say was, this was like magic. The anxiety was gone. I mean, completely gone. There was nothing there. And I didn't have another anxiety attack for, I don't know, weeks. So when it came back again, still that trepidation returned with it. I went ahead and took the arsenicum album 200C again. Now, maybe at that time it was a 200X, because that's pretty much all that was available back then in the 80s. In the 1980s. Not 1880s, 19. Yeah, a little old, but not that old. So, arsenicum album 200. Then later on, I can't tell you when, I felt a panic. I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt panic for no reason. We always try to assign a reason to it. Why do I feel such panic? What is going on? What is wrong with me? Well, sometimes we can figure it out. Many times we can't. Sometimes we need to go to the root source. Many times we don't. Let's just use the symptoms, shall we? Let's just use the name of the condition. What's the name of the condition? Panic attack. What are the symptoms? Waking up in the middle of the night, almost breathless, getting up, walking around, trying to find comfort. Aconitum. I took it again, 200X or C. I don't know which one. And to be honest, my friends, it doesn't much matter. 200X, 200C. You just use it. One dose is all that was needed. And often with panic, it's all we need is one dose. Sometimes a second dose, maybe, I don't know, half hour later or so, but very, very rarely do we even need it. Let's see what people are saying here. I'd love to see what your thoughts are here. Let's see if I can scroll down, scroll up, or scroll down. Let's see. So, what am I going to do about my fractured tooth? It was already pulled this afternoon. It's gone. Gone. No more tooth. Yeah, it was 19. And it's and I didn't know whether or not I'd feel well enough to do this tonight, but I should know better. Because listen, look I'm doing it. I'm just fine. And after you, I've got my Mighties, and after Mighties, I've got my gateway group, a very large gateway group tonight. So yeah, it's gone. And that's that. I'm 72, says Bonnie, on autism spectrum. Was first prescribed liquid Valium for heat intolerance at 18 with no warnings, and nearly died. Oh my goodness, Bonnie. Here's the thing with heat intolerance. Women are intolerant to temperatures. We have a much narrower band than men do. We get hot more easily, and we get cold more easily. So we do have heat intolerance to start. I'm so sorry. At the age of 38, I could no longer tolerate the social and other phobias. I was prescribed Xanax, and I'm still addicted to it. I want my, I think you mean life back. Yes, I don't blame you, dear. I really don't blame you, Bonnie. Bonnie, look into, I mean, I don't want to tell you about a course that you have to buy, but it is a process. There's no doubt it is a process to help someone get off of these drugs. And it could take quite some time, particularly given that, it's all these years, 25 years, something like that you have been on this. Let me also say that think about the kinds of diets that help people with epilepsy, with Parkinson's, with neurotype conditions. That is a ketogenic diet. That means high protein, high fat, animal protein, my friends. High protein, very low carbs, if at all. That is almost standardized in the medical industry, even the conventional medical industry. It is pretty much standardized. That can do a lot of good. It can take a while. And it takes a commitment too. It's the diet that I'm on. I mean, I'm pretty much a carnivore. Now, when I say pretty much, every once in a while, I have a little cheat here or there. Yeah, animal protein and fat, says Sarah. Yes, you're absolutely right. I hope this helps you even just a little bit. Okay, I tell my husband my thermostat is broken. I want her hotter than him, says Dolly. Allison says, my son had wisdom tooth pain. I gave him Staphysagria, Coffea cruda, Belladonna, Hypericum, and Chamomilla, and no more pain. He doesn't want them extracted. No, we should not do it, and neither do I. Several years ago, I unfortunately had a root canal. Wish I knew about homeopathy then. What can I do for my root canal now? Anything? Am I too far gone? No. We're never too far gone, Allison. We're never too far gone. No. I teach a lot about root canals in some of my courses, but I have my students here with me. So while I'm going to the next one, maybe some students will hop in and I'll review what they say. Root canal. Yeah, well, first of all, I've not had a root canal. I could have had a root canal today, and no, thank you, no. And so if I had said yes, my guess is I would have had potential lingering problems. Now I'm missing a tooth, no doubt about it. It's not nice. It's achy right now. It's not horrible, but it's achy. And it's the site, not the tooth. The site is achy. The tooth is gone, thankfully. And now I will not have an infection. But with root canals, it does set up the potential of an infection. So if I had had one here, I would have it extracted. I would have had that extracted. Let's see. My thermostat was broken, says Jennifer in New York. June 2007, after Rocky Mountain fever tick disease almost killed me. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Melissa says, we have the tooth replaced. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that. No, I think there are a lot of problems with it. Some people have no problems. Some people have no problems at all. If it were in the front, when you can see it, you can't see this. It's 19. It's further back. Then I would. But no, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let it be. I figure I'm 74. How many years will I live? I don't know, 25, 30 maybe. That would be great. And it would be how long do I have to keep these teeth all straight? Because that's what happens. The teeth get a little crooked. I have crooked teeth in the front from having a tooth extracted many years before this one for the same problem. Yeah, fracture. Okay. So Barb says for a root canal, symphytum 200 calc phos, if infection, possibly add hypericum. Well, I don't know if I would use symphytum and calc phos for a root canal itself. I would want to know that there's a problem and then use it. Yes, then I would use it. I'll tell you, I would have, if I had root canals, I would have them extracted. But everyone's different. And sometimes people can get away with it. I just don't know that I could. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Buffy says, I had 4 root canals pulled at once. Iced. No swelling. Beautiful. Nice job, Buffy. How do you keep the appropriate spacing if the tooth isn't replaced? Well, that's what I mean, Melissa. Given my age, teeth do move, but they don't move so quickly that within 25 years it's going to be a train wreck. I'm going to trust that. Now, if that starts to happen, maybe I'll get a Nesbitt replacement, a place maintainer, but that's it. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. None of my teeth have moved either. Well, some of mine have moved. It's not a big deal though. I'm just not concerned about it. I'm more concerned about getting the potential of infection. Thank you, Patty, for saying that. Such kind people. It's so lovely. I started having aching jawbone below a molar. Oh, let's see. Oh, it flipped up. We're going so quickly with the comments. Hold on. Let's see if I can catch this. Yeah, grinding teeth at night. Cinna. Yeah, it's a good point, Tammy. Very good point. Maybe I should be taking Cinna. I think it has more to do with my responsibilities and also I'm probably drinking too much coffee, which is not a lot. I only drink a cup of caffeinated. My husband has severe insomnia related to anxiety. He is 3rd generation dealing with this condition. We're at a loss and consulting with conventional medicine this week. We've hired a homeopath and had no success. Homeopathy was trained. The homeopath was trained under you. Well, I hope that you're going to find a practicalhomeopath.com because it doesn't mean when someone says they're trained under me, it doesn't. I don't know. Have they gone through academy and mastery? Are they part of my mastermind groups? So I want to say that because a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I studied with Joette." What does that even mean? So I mean, we have had thousands of people who've studied under me, tens of thousands. Now, not in the academy or mastery, but in other modalities, and so, or venues, I should say. Severe insomnia related to anxiety, one of the best medicines, my friends. Who knows one of the best medicines for that? Maybe you've tried it, maybe you haven't. Let's see if everyone comes up with it. There are a couple of them, but there's one top one where it's anxiety and insomnia. And I just talked about it just a minute ago. So let me just say to you, what is this? Her name is Devin. Find a practicalhomeopath.com and then go to those who have graduated from my mastery program as well as the academy. Okay. Had a bridge done. If a gap on dentist advice. Yeah, bridge is fine. I would be okay with a bridge. I grind my teeth in front down and now wear a mouth guard at night. That's what I've got. I got a mouth guard today. Actually, I had one from before because he said if you don't stop grinding, you're going to fracture your teeth. And that's exactly what happened. But I lost it. Ignatia is a good remedy for sleeplessness. I have another one I'm thinking of, my friends. Thank you, Tina B. in South Carolina. Coffea. The remedy Coffea 200C, especially before bed. Twice daily, but particularly before bed. Anxiety and sleeplessness, beautiful, beautiful. And listen, if one homeopath doesn't help you, find another. Find another, my friends. Make sure that you don't give up because the alternative is really scary. Once we start down that track, it's very hard to turn it around. Ignatia is another possibility too. Yes, Harry says it's his go-to. So Coffea 200 twice a day, especially the second dose before bed, and potentially Ignatia 200, another very, very good one. Judy from San Diego says Boron's Sleep Calm. Yes, friends, Boron and um, um, OHM Pharma and Highlands, and well, maybe not Highlands so much. Highlands is kind of, unfortunately, was a great company. It's kind of an okay company now. Helios, Washington. Um, you know the names. I say them almost every week. I list the names of these homeopathic pharmacies. Hahnemann Pharmacy in San Francisco area. They all make combination medicines that are to die for wonderful, and that's certainly worth a try. Sleep Calm. Leslie says she depends on Sleep Calm. I have AFib with insomnia. If I take coffee, causes my AFib to act up. What else could I use? Coffee or Coffea 200? Are you talking about the substance, the drinkable dark brown stuff that we drink in the morning, or are you talking about Coffea 200? So, and yes, does it cause it to act up? You bet it does. Diet is everything, friends. What we eat, what we drink, chocolate will do it, grains will do it, tomatoes will do it. It depends on what you're sensitive to. You bet. AFib is really an indication that something that's going in is causing trouble more often than not. Joette, would cocculus be more appropriate for a mom of an infant struggling to get back to sleep between feedings? Yes, Tina, I think that's a very good choice. Calculus is the great medicine for night watching. Calculus, it's a very good one. Does anyone know which Australian pharmacies are good quality homeopathic medicines? Yes, we do know them. Perry, do you remember the name of the Australian pharmacy? Please, I know others will know. If you happen to remember, let us know. Andrea knows. Pardon me?
Owens?
No, I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar.
Where we bought the stuff for Buster?
Yeah, was that from New Zealand or was that from?
One or the other.
Okay, so Mary is saying Coffea 200. Okay, so what does that tell you, Mary? Think about it this way. When we take a homeopathic medicine and it doesn't act or causes trouble, abandon, jump ship, alleviate that. That just means that medicine's not right. It means that we go to another medicine. Could be aconitum 200. Could be, we're already hearing Ignatia 200. Could be, what was another one I wanted to bring up tonight? Could be Califas 200. I like the 200s, as you can see. It could be, let's see, Jennifer. Let's see what Jennifer's saying here. Is Jennifer the one who just said that, let's just see, AFib? No, I don't know. I can't keep up. It's moving so quickly. I'm so sorry, friends. Argentum nitricum, another great medicine for anxiety. And then do look at the diet. Eat animal protein. That means eggs for breakfast. And for a husband, not 2, 4. 4 eggs and bacon. Yes, bacon. Yes, my friends. Sausage. Yes, good quality bacon, good quality sausage. If you don't want to eat breakfast, then don't eat it. Have that for lunch. And then for dinner, you have a ribeye or burgers, beef or lamb or fish, some kind of fish. Yes. Carrie says, is CP the best choice for a mom that gets overwhelmed by her young children and yells at them, or is this more of a nux vomica? Oh no, I think that's so sepia. Carrie, that sounds very, I mean, that's the one, that's the first one. Let's see. Somebody's in Australia. Okay. Oh, Owen? How do you spell it?
O-W-E-N.
Owen. O-W-E-N Pharmacy is what Perry's talking about. Owen Homeopathics. We've used them. Oh, it is Homeopathy Plus, the homeopathic pharmacy in Australia, asked Phoenicia. Do we know that, Perry? No. That sounds familiar, too. Yeah. So let me just say that generations, I know it seems like, well, I just inherited it. There's not much I can do about it. No. Listen, my friends, allergies are inherited. Does that mean we just don't? I'm not saying that you would say don't bother, but that does not mean that there's no opportunity for improvement, or even a resolution using homeopathy and diet. Get rid of the foods that are potentially problematic. Grains, cookies, crackers, cakes, cereal, pasta, bread. I don't care if it's sourdough. I don't care if it's fermented, homemade, personally ground, and fermented from an ancient fermentation process. It matters not. Oh, kick them out of the club. As I said earlier, get rid of anything that could be affecting the neuro aspect of the body, neurological, and that is grains and carbs. So just start with that. Not to mention, I'm assuming that you've already gotten rid of foods that could be causing trouble, like coffee, like drinking tea, like additives, like dyes, etc., etc. Okay. Wow. How could that be already? Oh, for goodness sakes. Agree, Joe. Get rid of inherited GI issues with homeopathy and good quality diet. Yes. Listen, it took me a long time to figure this out. Remember when we used to talk about the diet back in the 80s was the best diet is whole grains, whole grain pasta. I ground my own wheat berries, made my own flour. Then from that very flour, I made my own bread, sourdough bread, on a regular basis. Did it all the time. Made my pancakes, but they were with my freshly ground spring berries. The winter berries were for the bread. The spring berries were for the for the pastries. And I have to say, friends, it was all wrong. The whole thing was wrong. And then I started to incorporate meat, but not enough. Not enough, friends. I still thought that grains and occasional sweets and even and fruit were good. Fruit? No, 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 no. Doesn't mean you never eat it. Just means it's not part of our regular diet. Too much sugar. It's a sugar bomb. So, all right, my friends. I guess I have to. My husband's.
You got a full night.
Yeah, I do have a full night. We have to go on to Mighty. So those who are Mighty, stay with me. Boy, this went by fast. Yes, okay. Great to see you all. See you next week. Thank you again for joining me. I so appreciate your support and the support you give to each other and your families. Keep going, friends.